Good morning, everyone. After studying the first lesson about the wave and know the structure of the wave and what is crest and what is trough and what are the different types of the waves, we have a transverse, we have a longitudinal wave, and also we have something that's called mechanical and what's called by electromagnetic. Today, after knowing the structure and the basic rules that you have to know about the waves, today we will talk about some properties of the waves. So we will study some properties and you have to get them out of a wave graph in the exam. So the first one is called amplitude. What's amplitude? Amplitude is measuring, it's just the red arrow here. It's measuring how far the particles move from their original position. So to know this, this is the rest, this is the original position of the wave. So I will take a line from this start point until the farthest point. So how far the particles move in the medium is amplitude. So you can just get it through this red arrow. This is the amplitude. And then we have something that's called wavelength. What's wavelength? Length is the distance, and it's the distance between two identical points that must be corresponding to each other. They must come after each other. So it's the distance between crest and crest, or it's distance between trough and trough, not crest and trough, and not crest and another third crest. No, they have to be the same, and they have to be corresponding to each other. So the wavelength is from crest to crest or trough to the trough. This is the wavelength. We have something that's called wave period. What's wave period? Period means the time. So wave period is the time taken from one crest to another crest. In other words, it's the time taken to complete one wavelength. It's the time taken to make one wavelength complete. Okay, so now we take what's amplitude, what's wavelength, and what is wave period. Then we will take frequency. What's frequency? Frequency, it tells you how many cycles that happen in a given time. So how many cycles happen in a given time. That's why the rule of the frequency is equals to the number of cycles per time. Bears means divided. So the number of cycles divided by the time is the frequency. And also the frequency we have, it's the inverse. It's the opposite of the period. So the frequency is equals to 1 over period. And the period is equals to 1 over frequency. You must keep this because there's some problems that's found in the booklet. You have to solve them easily. So frequency is 1 over period. Why it's 1 over period? Because the period is describing the time taken to complete one wavelength. So it's the same, it's the opposite. So frequency is equals to 1 over period, and period is equals to 1 over frequency. So, and then this, we have some words that describe what affects the energy of the wave. The energy of the wave, you know that the energy is carried through the wave. The wave carry an energy from one place to another. But some waves, they have more energy than the others. Like earthquake, the earthquake, they have a huge waves that comes from under the earth. So whenever we have an amplitude high, this means this wave has an higher amount of energy. And whenever we have a greater frequency in a certain time, this means also this wave has or carry a greater energy in this time. Also, you have to know that for the electromagnetic waves, such as the X-rays, it has a huge energy. That's why you cannot expose yourself many times to the X-ray. It's dangerous because it carries enough energy to damage your human body. Okay, so can you just look at this photo? We have a wave, but it's found in circles and spheres. This is called wavefront, and you will find less energy is available on any point in the wavefront if you move from the source. So from the source, it's the high energy source. As you move far from the source, the energy will decrease along as you move away from the source. The last thing that we will take next session, inshallah, is the wave speed. I will just say it quickly, but we will repeat this part in the next week after the vacation. So what determines the wave speed? The wave speed is determined through the distance. What's the distance traveled in a certain time? So the speed is equal to the distance divided by the time. Okay, so you must, because we solved this in school, you must solve page 63 and 64 and 65 and 66 and 67 until 67 clearly. You must practice on counting how many cycles you have, which has higher amplitude, and you must know the label with this graph. Where's the crest and where is the trough and where's the amplitude and where's the wavelength and so on. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoy the session.